When you mention Costa Rica to most people, lush jungles, ziplining, and pura vida are usually the first things that come to mind. We found plenty of that, but after spending 3 weeks in the country, our adventures led us to even more hidden treasures, surprising room for progress, incredible people, and more alternative ways of living and traveling than we could have ever expected.
In this video, we are going to be bringing you along with us on our 3-week journey across Costa Rica to show you some of the most incredible eco-projects we have ever seen and provide you with an honest, first-hand experience of what visiting this country really is like.
So come along with us as we discover what the pure life is really all about.
Welcome back to Going Green. We've just touched down in San Jose, Costa Rica's vibrant capital city, and the gateway to a seemingly unreal world of adventure. So let's go!
The humidity and a line of endless taxi drivers greeted us the second we stepped outside the San Jose airport, but we already had a ride sorted. Brought to us directly at the airport by Go Remote Costa Rica, our car was ready for us to jump in and go.
Woo! Woohoo! We are straight into it from getting off the plane.
Oh my
Here
God.
is straight on the main roads.
Stress.
Let's hope we don't crash.
Oh my God.
The first stop of our adventure is Toucan Rescue Ranch, located about 40 minutes northeast from the airport in Heredia. This incredible project is helping to rescue, rehabilitate, and release injured or abandoned wildlife back into their natural habitat, if their condition allows.
Founded in 2004, Toucan Rescue Ranch's mission is to give Costa Rican wildlife a fighting chance, and also provide sanctuary to those who cannot survive in the wild on their own. This ensures a brighter future for native species, while also creating a space for education and activism for locals and visitors alike to get involved.
Alongside offering public tours, Toucan Rescue Ranch's animals are looked after by a dedicated team of veterinarians, volunteers, interns, and full-time animal protectors like our tour operator Andrea, who told us each permanent resident's story and gave us some insight into how the animals who found their forever home at Toucan Rescue Ranch are given all the love and care they need.
One key aspect of what Andrea told us is that in Costa Rica, it's illegal to take a selfie with wild animals. This practice promotes the illegal exotic animal trade and mistreatment of animals for the benefit of tourism and profit. So one big thing to look out for when researching sanctuaries to visit specifically in Costa Rica is if this practice of holding and taking selfies with wild animals is encouraged.
We made a full video showing you our time at Toucan Rescue Ranch that you can check out in the link below. From Toucan Rescue Ranch, we headed north towards what is known as the adventure capital of Costa Rica, La Fortuna. But what we didn't anticipate was the treacherous journey that lay ahead of us.
The quickest route suggested by our map was a 4-hour journey along a single-lane, steep mountain road. With our lack of experience of driving in Costa Rica, we put full faith in the route the app suggested and set off.
We chose to travel to Costa Rica during the rainy season, which has the benefits of fewer tourists and more greenery. However, it can also mean that landslides are more common. Encountering a landslide on a single-lane road in the middle of the jungle, along with 100 other cars, was not how we planned to spend the first night of our trip. Stuck in a traffic jam trying to go up to La Fortuna. It looks like there was loads of landslides because of all the rain that's been coming down, so the road has been blocked. But after 5 hours of unforgiving driving, we finally arrived at our hotel in La Fortuna.
The next morning, we were greeted by a close-up view of the incredible Arenal Volcano from our bedroom window. One of the many draws of La Fortuna is the natural hot springs scattered throughout the area. We wanted to test them out for ourselves and highly recommend booking a hotel that has some on-site to avoid expensive admission fees.
After yesterday's very exhausting day, we're going to be taking it a bit easier today, and we're going to be enjoying the hotel. We've got hot springs here now that we're in La Fortuna, so we're going to be jumping in those. We're going to go and check out the La Fortuna Waterfall, and right now we're off to a vegan breakfast place, so we're going to go and get some pancakes and waffles. We headed to Organico, a vegan friendly breakfast spot in the heart of La Fortuna, and it did not disappoint. Their juices, smoothies, bowls, and chocolate pancakes were well worth the wait.
After breakfast, we were eager to see our first Costa Rican waterfall.
We're here at the La Fortuna Waterfall.
The La Fortuna Waterfall is only a short 10-minute drive from the main town, and although the entrance fee is on the pricier side, it's well worth a visit.
The waterfall is extremely powerful this time of year due to the amount of rainfall, and was an impressive sight. A dip in the refreshing stream was definitely needed after the 500 steps down towards the foot of the waterfall.
The real magic, though, was in the stream that flowed around the corner from the waterfall, which was more hidden away from the tourist entrance and didn't have as strong of a current. This was where we really started to be immersed in the pura vida of the jungles of Costa Rica.
Back at our hotel, we learned of the Arenal Volcano viewing deck, situated at the top of the property.
So behind these big trees is the Arenal Volcano, the most notable volcano in this area of Costa Rica that was only active, or last active, a few years ago. And this is the Los Lagos Hotel lookout point. If you didn't know it was here, you would never know, because it's at the end of a big dirt road. But it's perfect for sitting and viewing this amazing volcano.
This was the best place for an uninterrupted view. Although you'll definitely need a 4x4 for the steep, gravelly hills of the area, it is a hidden gem well worth seeing.
Fortunately, Go Remote Costa Rica supplied us with this awesome Toyota RAV4 that we named Ravi, which was both incredibly fuel efficient and perfect for unpredictable, steep, and rocky terrain.
Big shout out to Go Remote Costa Rica for helping us sort this trip. They help remote workers come to Costa Rica and get settled with a rental car, hotels to stay in, and if you want to check out more, click the link below.
The next morning, before setting off on the next leg of our adventure, we had a traditional veganized tico breakfast made of gallo pinto, plantains, and pico de gallo.
Heading northwest from La Fortuna, we next arrived at what can only be described as heaven. The Rio Celeste Hideaway Hotel is a stunning oasis situated on the edge of the Tenorio Volcano National Park, offering 16 luxury eco-villas immersed in the rainforest.
So we're currently walking through the national park on our way to the Rio Celeste Waterfall. We just checked into the Rio Celeste Hideaway Hotel.
Amazing.
And it's just so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So can't wait to get back there later and enjoy the vegan menu and relax. The hotel is only a 5-minute drive away from the entrance to the famous Rio Celeste Waterfall. A 25-minute hike from the entrance to the waterfall is required, and with the park closing at 2 p.m. in the rainy season, we made the quick decision to leave exploring the hotel until later in the day and swiftly headed to the waterfall, and it was so worth it. You continue past the waterfall. There's a 650-metre walk to apparently a blue lagoon, but feels like we've been walking for about 2 kilometres and we're still not seeing anything yet. Oh, how's the smell, Kira?
Eggy.
Why does it smell eggy?
Because the hot springs release sulfur from the earth, from inside the earth. That's really cool. It's also made the water nice and blue. And there's probably some crocs living in there, but we don't know.
We're not getting in.
We're not getting in, but it looks like we want to. Like this is like
Yeah.
a real like jumping spot.
After trekking through the national park and enjoying some fresh coconut water, we made it back to the Rio Celeste Hideaway Hotel and could finally enjoy all that it has to offer. The rooms offer a balcony that overlooks the rainforest, as well as a private outdoor shower area. The bathrooms and bedrooms are also just as beautiful.
Alongside being beautiful, the hotel's care and conscientiousness for the environment and local community only increases its appeal for us. 90% of the hotel's property is a protected nature reserve for guests to explore. Its gardens are chemical-free, and its greenhouses grow some of the food used in the kitchens.
Grey water from showers, sinks, and toilets are treated in a biodigester so that the water doesn't go to waste, and the hotel has even adopted a local school to educate the next generation on why caring for the planet is so important.
The hotel also owns a yoga deck that offers classes like this sound healing experience, and a private section of the nearby aqua blue Rio Celeste, offering guests the perfect place to feel at one with the surrounding nature. The pool and jacuzzi area of the hotel was also just as relaxing, and to top it all off, we then enjoyed the hotel's signature chocolate facials, which felt and smelled divine.
After a delicious candlelit vegan dinner in the intimate restaurant, we ended our evening with some fun in the games room, where I proceeded to whoop Ben's butt at darts.
This is the moment Ben loses.
The next day, we enjoyed another delicious Tico breakfast before heading out to go tubing along the Rio Celeste with Rio Celeste Aventuras. After a quick safety briefing with the key message being, keep your bum in the air or the rocks will hurt, we got into the river with our two guides and started to head downstream.
What started as a lazy river soon became fast rapids, and that's when we knew we were in for an action-packed experience.
This is crazy.
Within minutes of the rapid starting, I was flipped completely upside down by both the currents and me leaning too far back, but I was fortunately away from any big rocks. At this point, I understood that this was not for the faint-hearted. However, the two guides that were with us made us feel incredibly safe, with one at the front guiding the way, and one at the back rescuing anyone that got caught on the rocks, which somehow always ended up being Kara.
Yeah, they were rescuing me every other minute, but if you're looking for an exhilarating experience whilst in Costa Rica, tubing is a must. It was so much fun, but keeping your butt in the air like the guides instruct is key. Your tailbone will thank you later.
So we just finished up tubing on the Rio Celeste, and it was so much fun, but a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Because about 1 minute in, I did a backflip.
Into some rapids.
And then it taught me, like, you can't mess around here. Because there are a lot of boulders in the water, but yeah, so much fun. Highly recommend. After a wonderful day in one of Costa Rica's most remote corners, we got back in the car and started to make our way to the mountaintop town of Monteverde, known for its hanging bridges, zip lines, and wildlife tours, all situated within what's known as the Cloud Forest.
The drive from Rio Celeste to Monteverde was an intense 4-hour journey along the winding roads over the mountains, hills, and valleys of the Alajuela, Punta Arenas, and Guanacaste provinces of Costa Rica. We passed through endless villages, prayed all the way up some steep, graveled inclines, and took in some incredible views that can only be found off the beaten track.
Before nightfall, we arrived at Senda Monteverde, our home for the next 4 days, and a hub of eco-consciousness in a busy tourist town. The hotel's proximity to attractions, including the famous cloud forest and hanging bridges, was certainly a draw for us, but it was Senda's responsible business practices and true care for the environment that sealed the deal. The hotel is free of single-use plastics, has individual solar panels on each guest cabin to power lights and heat water, and all employees are native Costa Ricans. The hotel is also right next door to the Agouti Wildlife Reserve, and has special access directly from the cabin area. From here, we knew that we'd have a conscious space to come back to after going out to explore.
So after an excellent veganized Tico breakfast that the staff were incredibly accommodating about making for us, we headed out for a tour of the nearby Selvatura Park, home to 8 of the area's hanging bridges.
It's a little bit wet.
A little bit.
One key aspect we continually manage to forget, though,
A wild Kira wringing out her clothes.
was that we were visiting the cloud forest during Costa Rica's rainy season. Our guide, wearing a poncho and wellies, was fine and did a great job of explaining the importance and significance of the area. But after about 5 minutes, our trainers and thin rain jackets lost the battle.
The following hour and a half of walking through the downpour were wet and cold to say the least, but we still loved seeing the tree canopy from such an incredible vantage point, and highly recommend taking the tour, even though getting back to a hot shower was the only other thing on our minds.
The next morning, with clear skies forecasted until the late afternoon, we decided to embark on our most adrenaline-packed day yet. At 100% Aventura Adventure Park, we traversed 11 zip lines, including the longest zip line in Latin America, at nearly a mile long.
This bird's eye view of the cloud forest was unlike anything either of us had ever seen before, and we loved our experience so much that we even decided to do the last 2 zip lines flat on our stomach like Superman. Little did we know that the most daunting part of our day had yet to be faced. We thought the Tarzan swing would be a gentle swing over the rainforest. We never imagined it would entail jumping off a platform and waiting for the rope to catch you like a bungee.
Yeah. Ah! I'm good. Oh my god, I thought that was the end.
We only recommend this if you really want a thrill.
Thankful and full of adrenaline from our few days exploring the cloud forest, we made our way back down the mountains toward an alternative way of living, redefining self-sufficiency and what it means to be a community.
Today we're at Alegría Village in the hills of San Mateo, Costa Rica, exploring what a community-driven, regenerative future looks like, and getting to know the people who are making it happen.
Located about an hour from the country's capital of San Jose, Alegría Village is a haven for those seeking to live a self-sufficient, mindful, and regenerative life, while also ensuring that their impact is as minimal yet as beneficial to the surrounding environment as possible.
We had the chance to meet Stephen inside Alegria's stunning yoga shala, who told us more about how the village started and his hopes for its future.
From a very young age, I just questioned everything, you know, it's like, I just started thinking about, like, who is the designer of this place? Things just kind of happened around us, you know, food systems, medical systems, governance, you know, and it's just kind of crazy, you know, and it's like, who's the designer behind it? And do we have any say? You know, like, do we have any say in this design? And yeah, I kind of decided from a young age that I think we do, you know, I think we really can shift things.
Alegria's community garden holds everything from bananas to papayas, mangoes, goa beans, and so much more. But our favourite plant of all is the shampoo ginger plant, used by indigenous people for thousands of years to clean both body and hair. Kira got to try it out for herself, and we loved the smell of it.
We made a full video on our visit to the Eco Village, so if you want to learn more, be sure to go check that out.
We just finished up at Alegría Village and It was incredible, absolutely incredible. The knowledge that they had, especially Stephen, absolutely incredible. And the fruit, we've eaten probably 5 types of bananas.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just the knowledge of everyone that works there and the dedication and commitment to preserving and restoring the land that they've bought is just unreal. And these homes, which are for sale right now, or the plots basically for sale to build homes on right now, are all going to be eco and working with the land as much as they possibly can. And it really just seems like such a serene, incredible place to settle down if that's what you're looking for. Like, wow, amazing.
We are heading southwest towards Uvita to see some of the most beautiful and untouched parts of the country. While on our way though, we couldn't help but be horrified and saddened by the miles and miles of palm forests along the side of the main roads. Palm forests produce palm oil, a cash crop of recent years found in everything.
It is inexpensive to produce and extremely profitable due to global demand. However, unsustainable palm oil production is also extremely bad for the environment. Not only is essential rainforest cleared for palm trees to be planted, causing immense habitat loss for both animal and plant life, but it also creates a monoculture, or a practice that only produces one crop in an area. This monoculture can rapidly deplete the soil of various essential nutrients and can lead to soil exhaustion over time. This leaves the land unable to grow anything after only a few cycles of harvesting.
With Costa Rica being such an environmentally progressive place in regards to relying on 99% renewable energy and conserving biodiversity through endless national parks and wildlife refuges, we hope that the country eliminates this detrimental practice soon and provides its people with more sustainable and regenerative work opportunities. Costa Rica is great in so many ways, and we hope that future generations of natives, expats and tourists alike have the chance to witness it in all its true glory.
Pulling into Uvita, the sense of paradise has returned. Uvita is one of the many expat hubs of Costa Rica, with probably one of the most relaxed, surf town vibes we've yet to have experienced. About an hour south of touristy Quepos, Uvita is home to laid-back cafes and vegan options galore, small B&Bs within walking distance of the beach, and the Marino Ballena National Park, also known as the Whale's Tail Beach.
So we're now in Uvita and we are currently staying at Synergy Retreats. And just look at this place, it is beautiful. And we're now with Kira's brother, Quinny. Oh, and Tino, he keeps following us everywhere.
Here we're visiting my family friend Robert at Synergy, his retreat and event space in the heart of Uvita. Robert has lived in Costa Rica for the last 5 years, so we're ready to see all that his corner of the country has to offer from a local's perspective.
Synergy is probably what you'd imagine staying in Costa Rica to look like. Open-air buildings offering space to practice yoga and meditation, an aqua blue pool, lush fruit trees housing wildlife like macaws and monkeys, and space to feel connected with the world around you. It's open to hosting multi-day retreats and seminars, fundraisers, and even has a few live-in furry friends to keep you company. After talking to Robert about what we can get up to nearby, and found only 5 minutes away, the spot for a swim.
This is the Uvita Waterfall, a beloved spot by locals and tourists alike to take a quick dip or even jump from the waterfall itself. For an admission fee of just 2,000 colones per person, you can spend as much time as you want there, and your payment allows the family that manages the property to keep the trails and platforms safe and sturdy and the stream clean. And let's just say, we didn't waste any time.
And Kira maybe had a little bit too much fun.
2 hours at the waterfall did it for us, and we're ready for dinner. Luckily, right next door to Synergy is Indomitos, a fully plant-based restaurant where you want to order one of everything on the menu. And we kinda did.
Today we're heading to another much bigger waterfall, about 30 minutes into the mountains, called Nauyaca. This is one of Costa Rica's most picturesque double waterfalls that you have to see to believe. What we didn't realise though was the challenge that lay ahead of us to make it there.
After collecting our entry passes at the top of the mountain, we drove down steep inclines to get to the parking lot at the start of the trail. Although we always hike when we travel to mountainous places, the steepness and muddiness of these trails, in addition to the unbearable heat and humidity, left us struggling.
What do you think, guys?
Well, 2 out of 3 of us.
So the journey to the waterfalls is about a 2-mile hike, but it's up and down, so gotta bring your walking shoes, don't come in your flip-flops. We are almost at the Nauyaca Waterfalls.
Woo!
It's been quite a trek.
You can hear it.
The mist you get sprayed with when viewing the falls feels like a cool shower though, so this reward was going to be good enough for us.
So now we're hungry and exhausted, but Dominical, the town at the base of the mountain, has been widely recommended as a must-see, so we headed over to check it out. And what do 3 sweaty, hungry vegans find? None other than the mecca of health food shops in southwestern Costa Rica, Mama Toucan's. Mama Toucan's has high quality fresh products for all diets and earned the top spot in my heart when I spotted their take on my one true love, carrot cake. We also popped across the street for something savoury at Fat Noodle. We were able to veganise their pad thai and teriyaki stir-fry dishes, which were delicious.
Having a nap and a shower re-energized us, so next we set out to see one of the key things that Uvita is famous for, Marino Ballena National Park. This national park is one of the smaller ones in Costa Rica, but protects key species of both plant and animal life. The nearby Rio Uvita and Quebrada Grande feed directly into the ocean here, and a winding beach leads you to a natural landmass that looks, from above, like a whale's tail. The tail is only visible and accessible at low tide, so checking the tide schedule is key before venturing to the park.
Somewhere over there.
Why can't we see it?
It's high tide.
Fortunately, in Uvita, there is also a huge emphasis on protecting the oceans, especially with biological reserves and other biodiversity hotspots like the Osa Peninsula nearby. We're heading home now to get some rest before tomorrow, when we'll finally be able to get involved with some of Costa Rica's marine conservation efforts.
Today, we woke up extra early and drove about 20 minutes south of Uvita to meet with marine biologist Laura, dive master and wildlife expert Julian, and their team at Innoceana.
Innoceana is a non-profit organisation working in Costa Rica, California, Thailand and Spain to protect and rewild the world's oceans through innovation and education. We are here at the Marine Conservation and Education Centre, learning more from Innoceana's dedicated team of engineers, biologists and dive masters from around the world about their groundbreaking research projects, internship programs and public expeditions.
Costa Rica's marine wildlife is among some of the most awe-inspiring and biodiverse in the world. We sat down with Julian to understand how they intend to conserve this diversity.
I have been working in the last year with Innoceana as the operation manager of the project in Costa Rica in the MCEC. What we want is to reach local community. We believe that conservation it's not possible if you don't work in the educational side, and educate the local communities are very important.
Innoceana's work ranges from monitoring water quality to researching invertebrates and protecting coral reefs, and also keeping tabs on animals including whales, dolphins, sharks, fishes and turtles. Today, we're getting in the water with them too, to experience their work firsthand in a very special place.
40 minutes south in the town of Sierpe, Innoceana's boat awaits, ready to take us and the team through the fresh waters of the Rio Sierpe and out into the Pacific Ocean toward Caño Island.
Caño Island is a protected biological reserve with abundant reefs, dense populations of terrestrial and marine wildlife, and strict regulations that all visitors must adhere to. Visiting Caño Island without a certified guide is not allowed, and visitors are rarely permitted to step onto the island. The only building on the island is the ranger station, which has 24/7 staff that ensure these rules are followed and its natural beauty is protected.
We suited up and got in the water to observe the sea life below. Spotting a sea turtle and plenty of incredible reefs, our hours spent on the water coincided with observing another devastating effect of modern life: plastic.
Although extremely remote, Caño Island is not exempt from plastic pollution, with currents and tides carrying trash from hundreds of miles away to collect in these natural areas. So in case you needed another reminder, stop buying single-use plastic wherever you can, use what you already have, and always dispose of your trash in the best way possible.
At the end of our day, we got together with the research team to check out their findings in water quality monitoring and populations of local wildlife.
Innoceana's work is vital to not only the aquatic habitats of Costa Rica, but also throughout the world. Through globally interconnected marine conservation efforts, the organisation's impact is growing, and they're always open to people like you to help make this happen.
After days of fun and relaxation in Uvita, we headed even further south to one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, the Osa Peninsula. The peninsula's 700 square miles may seem small, but it holds 2.5% of the entire world's biodiversity. It's said to have been one of the only places to have not frozen over during the last ice age, so thousands of species of animals flock to its dense rainforest to thrive. And thanks to extensive conservation efforts on both land and at sea, thrive it has. The majority of the peninsula is protected within Corcovado National Park, where you must hire a licensed guide to gain entry and cannot bring any single-use plastics whatsoever in.
To be fully immersed in this natural wonder, we ventured down to Kunken Lodge, an eco-luxury hotel that sits at the top of the Osa Peninsula and has unmatched views of it all, offering 6 private multi-room cabins with panoramic views of the Gulf of Dulce. Kunken Lodge directly supports conservation efforts through its on-site produce garden, frog sanctuary and butterfly garden. Delicious plant-based dining options are available to enjoy for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and the incredibly accommodating staff are always ready to help you with anything you need.
So we've just checked into Kunken Lodge and it is an absolutely beautiful property. We're currently staying in one of these little villas and we have a view of the Osa Peninsula.
The villas themselves combine luxury with connectedness with nature. With no glass windows and using only locally sourced building materials, the cabin screens prevent wildlife from entering the cabins, but still allow a fresh Gulf breeze to flow throughout. The property itself also offers an expansive swimming pool, several hiking trails leading to breathtaking viewing platforms, and kayaks and jet skis that are available for guests' use at any time. The concierge will also happily set up a tour for guests to visit Corcovado National Park or Drake Bay nearby if desired.
We used our few days with Kunken Lodge to truly exhale. Being so immersed in nature at all times of the day allowed us to create space in our minds again to be present. Whether we were kayaking, swimming, reading on the deck, watching the Gulf from a lounge bed, or exploring the property, Kunken Lodge offered us a sense of peace seemingly impossible to find in the busyness of life. Slow living and getting back to our roots revitalised us and helped the 3 of us to create memories that we will never forget, like spotting a feeding pod of wild dolphins on our last night as the sun went down.
Feeling restored and ready for our last few days in Costa Rica, it's now time to visit a project we had personally been really looking forward to that is redefining the way we look at protecting and restoring nature. Located in the village of La Gamba, next to Piedras Blancas National Park, and only 40 kilometers from the Panamanian border, Refugio Tinti is the epitome of a biodiverse haven, restored by humans from a once toxic and desolate area.
Founded in 2016 by Alexander Tinti, Refugio sits on over 60 acres of land that is now abundant with essential native plants, animals and microorganisms. It is an excellent example of permaculture, a practice that reconciles human societies with the natural environment. Its core pillars are self-sufficiency, sustainable architecture, habitat regeneration, and self-regeneration. The land that Refugio Tinti sits on was once primary rainforest, then a site where toxic waste was dumped, and later taken over by cattle farming. This left the land barren and the soil completely compacted and depleted. Alexander saw this as an experiment and opportunity to see if what once was could one day be again.
Then I experimented with my own garden until I felt now I'm ready to do something bigger. And this place here is 24 hectares and it borders on the national park, Piedras Blancas, which is 14,000 hectares. And our concept here was to expand the park.
And after years of patience, practice, and letting nature take back its land, Refugio Tinti now thrives, with multiple abundant food forests and a greenhouse, wet and dry compost, a self-sufficient water filtration system, housing for guests and volunteers alike, a solar-powered food dehydrator, and grounds for some locals to stop by.
Our goal here is to raise biodiversity, to restore whatever is left and to help nature to recover, because she is incredibly resourceful and recovers very fast as long as you let her.
Alexander is also working with local communities to create school programs to educate children on the power and impact they can have in their own homes and on the surrounding environment. Refugio Tinti also offers public tours for you to learn what changes you can make where you live to allow the world around you to thrive.
Taking all we had learned and experienced over the last few days, we got back in the car to head off on the final adventure of our trip. Driving back north along the Pan American Highway, We're heading to tourist hotspots Quepos and Manuel Antonio to see what draws millions of tourists every year and what part the area plays in supporting the country's sustainability goals. The hills of the Quepos and Manuel Antonio areas overlook the bright blue waters of the Pacific Ocean below and offer endless opportunities for adventure.
So we are currently in Manuel Antonio National Park, and it's beautiful. There's lots of wildlife around, but at the same time it is kind of disappointing because it's very, very tourist catered.
It's like Disneyland.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Like in the middle of the national park, there's a restaurant where you can buy, you know, food and souvenirs, and it's all in plastic, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of just takes the genuine national park vibe and what it should be away.
And getting here, like, the amount of people trying to scam you to get into the parking, they even dress up as national park rangers so that you can park in their place so they can take your money.
Yeah, they take your money and they don't want your car, and you genuinely don't know who to trust here, which is kind of scary.
So although, like, most people say if you come to Costa Rica, come to Manuel Antonio, we advise against that.
I would say do Corcovado in the Osa Peninsula.
Yeah, go to Osa Peninsula.
Yeah.
Go to the places that tourists haven't been to yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's disappointing, and it's sad. It is sad because I bet at one point this was a beautiful area. This is what happens when you put a cafe in a national park.
Full of plastic bottles and snacks.
Literally drinking beer.
That is insane. I don't talk about with nature.
Our encounter with the monkey further cemented our belief that humans still have a long way to go when it comes to learning to understand and respect nature, and not simply treating these beautiful, natural places like theme parks. The next day, we visited a great local example of a team looking to play a part in raising the public's level of knowledge and respect for natural habitats, and the importance of proper care practices. About 20 minutes inland from Manuel Antonio in the town of Naranjito lies Villa Vanilla, a farm situated on over 100 acres of lush rainforest, growing some of the most expensive and sought-after spices in the world.
Villa Vanilla was founded in 1987 by Henry Karzinski, who took over this formerly desolate cow pasture, and using the principles of biodynamics, revitalized the land to become an abundant food forest.
Biodynamic farming enhances the soil's nutrient content using farm-sourced materials in order to ensure optimal plant growth and development, like these cacao husks that are dried and used in compost.
Today, Villa Vanilla's lush rainforest produces cacao and chocolate products of the highest quality. Ceylon cinnamon, allspice, and pure vanilla beans, which is the second most expensive spice in the world.
We're here today meeting up with Henry's son and daughter, who now run Villa Vanilla, Christopher and Jennifer, and who are showing us exactly what makes this place so special.
The farm started in 1987. My dad started growing vanilla. Vanilla is native to this area. It's native to southern part of Mexico and Central America. People think that it comes from Madagascar. Madagascar is the #1 grower of it now in the world, but it was actually brought there from Mexico over by the French. Vanilla grows in the rainforest. Vanilla does not grow on mass farms, so they wanted to mimic that on the farm. How did they try to do that? They try to bring in other types of also tropical spices to have everything growing. So today, that's what we have. Mainly we have vanilla. Vanilla is still the main crop on the farm, but we have roughly anywhere between maybe 10 to 15 other tropical spices growing along with the vanilla to kind of create that rainforest environment.
They also offer tours of the Villa Vanilla property so that you can see these spice-producing plants firsthand.
Every single vanilla flower has to be hand-pollinated. So during pollination season, it's extremely intense. We have people roaming the farm for 2 hours a day, roughly from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. with a small toothpick in hand, and they're all pollinating as many flowers as they can. Why? Remember how we said that cacao? The cacao flower has a very short shelf life, roughly 36 hours, and then it'll pretty much fall. Well, vanilla, it's almost 8 hours. So if that vanilla flower is not pollinated in 8 hours, it's going to drop to the ground, and it's going to consider that this year it will not become pollinated. So pretty much it's a race against time. You have to remember that one vanilla flower that you're pollinating is open that one day.
On our 2-hour walk around some of the property, we spotted giant cacao pods, inhaled the scent of the fragrant bark of the cinnamon tree, tasted spicy pods of black peppercorns, and learned about the precise artistry that goes into ensuring pollination, harvesting, and drying of the spices that Villa Vanilla produces.
After spending the morning learning all about Villa Vanilla's spices, it was now time to taste a few specialities while overlooking the rainforest.
Starting with a flavor-packed chai latte, we then tried their signature turmeric latte, also known as golden milk, and cacao, a drink prepared ceremonially by indigenous communities for thousands of years. It was rich, dark, a little spicy with added cayenne pepper, and ultimately delicious. After the tour, in Villa Vanilla's gift shop, we purchased some of their cardamom dark chocolate, 70% dark chocolate buttons, Ceylon cinnamon, and a bottle of pure vanilla extract.
Now knowing how much time and precision goes into pollinating vanilla, and after just opening the bottle and smelling it, I know I'll never buy fake vanilla again.
Whether you're heading to the Manuel Antonio area for only a short time or for several days, Villa Vanilla and its rainforest spices are a must visit.
As we started making our way along the back roads leading to San Jose, the final project we knew we needed to check out is situated high in the mountains and acts as a sustainability education centre. Rancho Mastatal, located in a village of the same name, was founded in 2001 with the goal of educating others about how to live more responsibly and intentionally.
We met with founder Tim O'Hara, who showed us around part of his sprawling 300-acre home, used to feed, educate, and regenerate visitors and the local community.
It's a pretty dynamic, diverse project, but essentially we bring people into the space to teach them about a variety of topics related to sustainability. The main focus is being natural building, agroforestry, and food processing and fermentation.
Much like Refugio Tinti, Rancho Mastatal's mission from the start has been to restore the land back to its former glory, while also providing opportunities for learning and growth.
I guess a place of hope for people to come to gain inspiration and create an example that proves that it's possible to start a project like this and engage in a lifestyle like this without giving up your happiness. And then lastly, just having a place for my daughter to escape to when the apocalypse comes.
It's true. Thanks. Before our flight out of San Jose, we spent one final night at a stay organised for us by our friends at Go Remote Costa Rica.
Alongside being a place to rest our heads for the night, this apartment was a place we could all reflect on the last 3 weeks of crazy, beautiful, adventure-packed Costa Rica, and all the incredible people and furry friends we met along the way.
These weeks have shown us what venturing into the unknown really feels like, how small changes can really have a big impact, and how far we as humans have left to go.
If there's one thing we can all learn from being in places like Costa Rica, it's that taking care of nature can come in many different shapes and sizes.
And although we may encounter challenges or roadblocks, each of us has to start somewhere.
Not only for the sake of our planet, but also for the sake of all of us.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button to see more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.